Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for joining us today on the live stream. Shout out to the NTZ crew. I saw Michael Beach of Life on here. Welcome back. Jacob Tanjay, thank y'all for what y'all do. All my old heads, all my fourth quarter members, that's Q right there. He said, man, once I saw the title of that video, The Philippines is Dead, I knew it was a classic, and I was right. He said, great video, Unc. Times as we once knew about dating in the Philippines has changed, as nothing stays the same. Well, that's the truth. Also, any new viewers and subscribers watching today, anybody catching this on replay, the peso's 58.12. It's staying up over 58, which is great. We got a special guest today for the first 30 minutes, guys. Y'all take this stuff for granted. I'm gonna have Michael Onstad on here. He's our resident insurance agent, health insurance agent in the Philippines, and you can ask him any questions you want. I've got some questions for him because healthcare is something most expats try to do without. And then the next 30 minutes, I'm gonna open up the floor to y'all. Then after that, you know, all hell's liable to break loose. But welcome back to the channel, Mike. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it too.
Well, just give everybody just give us your 30-second elevator speech. How long you been offering insurance over here in the Philippines, and whatever you want to say.
Well, here about 6 years. Prior to that, I was in the business for 35 years at home, which is Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot. I know I know all the mistakes. At least I thought I did till I got here. I've had my surprises. You gotta adapt. No doubt about it. Things don't move as quickly as you'd like, and when it comes to health emergencies, that's not a good thing. So that's how I fit in. I grease the wheels and speed it up. We want to get that
Yeah.
bill paid while you're in the hospital, so they'll let you go. Now, of course, I've heard a lot of guys say, "Oh, they'll let you go." Well, yeah, I've heard a lot of stories where they won't let you go. So take your chances.
Well, they wouldn't let my son out till I paid that bill. When he was born, this is in 2012. I had a 350,000 peso bill, and they would not take him out of the incubator. They would not take the IVs and all that out of him till I paid that bill. Same for
Uh,
his mother. She was in there 7 days. He was in there for 18 days. They've got an armed guard
uh,
at the door.
yeah, but
Okay.
I've
I'm,
never heard
I'm,
of anyone getting shot. Never heard of anyone getting shot. So that's good news.
yeah. Yeah, that's Michael Beecher. Like, yeah, because see, I'm gonna tell you something. My son's mother, uh, her first son, she's got two sons. He was 2 years old when I met her. But when she had him, she jumped out of the second story building in the hospital because she couldn't pay the bill. She
I've
unhooked
heard
the
the
IV herself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
That
you
that
know
goes.
why they put the private rooms on the top floor, so you can't do that without breaking your legs.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me ask you this real quick, because this is something that I've always wondered, and you probably would know. In your estimate, what percentage of expats over here are without health care coverage?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say probably 80%. Wing it.
Wow.
You know, they
Yeah,
they uh, they
that's
see
a
how
lot.
cheap it is here, so they self-insure, which is good. That works for the small stuff, even the medium stuff. A broken arm might set you back 25,000 pesos. It's the big stuff where you get into trouble, and that's what my focus is the inpatient, in hospital, heart attack, stroke, cancer, or a serious accident. Uh, that's where you get into trouble. You're in the hospital, they won't let you out. You're there for 4 or 5 days. I just had a guy. He had a aortic embolism. He went to St. Luke's, and he had an insurance policy, which was good. But and I had everything arranged for direct settlement. The bill ended up being 2 million pesos, and the doctor's report on like they do a what do they call it, an abstract when they release a patient, mentioned that he had a history of hypertension. He never mentioned hypertension on his application, and it turned out that that the doctor stated that in error. So I had to unwind all of this and make sense of it, because Pacific Cross wasn't going to pay until they cleared the air on whether or not he lied on his application. So the client's trapped, 2 million peso bill. I got on the horn with the president and I said, "This guy is not a liar. He did not make a misstatement on his application, which was 2 years ago." And they said, "Okay, Mike, claims 2 million. How much are you in on it for if it backfires?" And I said, "I'll go for half." And he said,
Wow.
"Okay, claims approved." Thank God it hasn't it cleared. Everything's fine, so I'm not on the hook. But that's the kind of stuff I do. Doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, you better have the bulldog.
Yeah. Now I know in life insurance, because I didn't sell a lot of healthcare coverage. I did with Medicare Advantage, but that's a whole different thing. But I know in life insurance there was a 2-year contestability period. That doesn't apply to healthcare.
No, no, no. The contestability period on life insurance is for suicide.
Yeah, it's
Life
two
insurance.
years.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty cut and dry. You can tell whether it was suicide or not usually. But with health insurance, no. If you conceal anything on your application, you're putting your claim at risk. But if you're forthright and you reasonably don't are not aware of a condition like prostate cancer, you don't feel prostate cancer, uh, and if you claim in the first year, well, of course the prostate cancer was there before you got the insurance. You're still covered.
Wow.
Okay. But if they find that you saw a doctor on the QT and he diagnosed it before application and you lied on your application, that's when we get in trouble. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you talked about prostate cancer or even cancer, period, and once it's covered, would you suggest somebody get that treatment here or go back home and get it?
It depends what kind of cancer. If it's an exotic kind of cancer that requires stem cell or monoclonal antibody advanced treatment, yeah, you want to go home for that. But St. Luke's can handle the mainstream forms of cancer. In fact, most hospitals can. Just stay away from public hospitals. They're a great place to go to die, in my opinion.
You mean like they can handle prostate cancer here?
Oh yeah, no, I have a guy getting treated. It's fine. Yeah, no, they got the radiation treatments and chemotherapy. They got it all.
Yeah. Okay. Now he this guy asked answered the he's asking the question I was giving an answer. He said, "How much does insurance cost, and where can we find it?" Well, obviously, Mike, if you go in any of my videos, I'm gonna have his link to his contact information. But what is your basic policy, Mike, that you push really?
Well, it depends. I mean, what age? I mean, age is a bearing on it.
Well,
But
I'm not
a
saying how much it costs. I'm not saying how much it costs. I'm saying what's the basic policy? How much is the coverage?
okay. Well, there's two options I usually present initially, and then we massage it from there. But there's the peso plan. Okay, maximum benefit limit of 5 million pesos. Okay, which goes an awful long way here. I haven't seen anything over 5 million pesos yet. But hey, knock on wood. Then there's the U.S. dollar plan, much higher benefit limit of half a million US, which is the equivalent of 28 million pesos. But you also have the option to go to Thailand for treatment. And a lot of guys like that. I mean, that appeals to them. So it's a moving target. A lot of it has a bearing on whether or not they have Medicare at home. If they can go home for the real serious stuff, then yeah, PACE plan is sufficient. If you get it in a condition that doesn't allow you to fly, like a heart attack, stroke, uh, or a serious accident, then you want enough coverage to get you treated, put back together, and on an airplane if you need further treatment at home. That's how I approach that.
Yeah, he says my wife has field health. Do foreigners qualify for that same health care? What you think about
Yes.
field health, Mike?
Oh yeah. I think it's a false sense of comfort for a foreigner. It covers 20% on average. I've heard miracles. They're out there. There's a few miracles, but the general rule of thumb is 20% of your hospital bill. And if you go to the website, it excludes Schedule Z conditions. It's pretty foggy what that exactly means, but it's any health condition that causes serious economic harm. So, what is that? A heart attack, stroke, cancer, anything serious, foreigners are permanently excluded for. Now, again, I've heard miracles, but hey,
Yeah. Well,
you
I
know, it's
want
the
people to know
Philippines.
this isn't a green screen behind me. I'm outside because our Wi-Fi connection has been off for almost 4 days now. We had some bad weather come through here, but hell, we're supposed to have been back on yesterday. So I'm I'm
Well,
hoping
this
y'all can see
this
me
isn't a
good. Am I
green
coming
screen
through?
either.
Yeah,
This is not a green screen.
yeah. This is a green
That
screen. I just want people
that
to know.
that that is my real air conditioner. Those are real curtains, and this is my bedroom, aka office.
Yeah. Well, he's asking how much it costs, and Mike just said it depends on your age, your health, because it's your health that buys your health insurance, Ron. But when they underwrite you, your age obviously is going to play a part. Your health, have you had any pre-existing conditions and all that? He just can't
No.
tell you that. You have to contact him and give him your details, and he can go from there. He
Yeah.
said, does it go up with age? Now, that's a
Yes.
good question.
Yes.
I mean, when you have the policy,
Yes.
is it year to year? It's year to year?
No. No. It goes up in 5-year increments until you hit the wonderful age cliff of 66. Then it goes up 5% per year. That's an estimation, general rule of thumb. Okay.
Oh,
So this
okay.
is not a
Yeah, I want
permanent solution. When you're 85, you do not want to have to pay health insurance premiums. You should be reserving something. So if you make it to 85, you either go home and use your Medicare, or you save up enough,
yeah.
at least a couple of million pesos as a emergency fund.
On that note, they found an American, 74-year-old American dead in Dumaguete yesterday. They found him in his apartment. He had been in there for 3 days. He's already showing signs of decomposition. And he's married. I'm thinking like, well, where's his wife? And it's always sad when you hear about stuff like that. But what difference does it make if you have good health insurance if you're not going to use it? If you're not going to the
Well,
doctor, if you're not, trying your best to eat better.
yeah. Well, that's
Look,
great. All of that's great in theory, but a jeepney with your name on it doesn't give a shit what you ate last night.
yeah. I'm just saying that we get this good coverage because a lot of guys I know, my brother had great coverage when he died, but hell, he didn't use it. That's the reason why.
Yeah, well, it's a lottery you don't want to win. So there you go.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I want to shout out Blizzard Abroad, man. You've been getting a lot of inquiries about that song you you created for me. Yeah, I think it's the greatest AI song I've ever heard. People really like that song, man. I don't know if you should make an album of songs, man, and help put it out there because you certainly got talent. He said, "What's up, good people?" He said, "Looks like the start of a beautiful day in San Carlos City." It is, and it's family, man, because yesterday it rained all day yesterday. What's the weather like up there, Mike?
Oh, we got a bit of a typhoon going on.
Yeah, we were getting the remnants of that. Hey, Unfiltered Black Abroad, thanks for that super chat. He said, "How does coverage for medical evacuation work? You know, with all
In
these
the
natural
Philippines,
disasters,
in the
yeah,
Philippines, it
happening in the
doesn't.
Philippines."
All right. Okay, I'll answer. It doesn't work. It's the Philippines. I wouldn't get on a helicopter here if I were you. It, there's no such thing. It, I looked into it and I couldn't find any reliable way where I'd put myself in the position where a client is having a heart attack. His wife phones me and said, "Where's the helicopter?" I'm not doing it. I won't touch it. But hey, there's a lot of great marketing material out there. But I don't. I wouldn't rely on it. What you do in an emergency, you go to the nearest hospital, you get stabilized, and if you can, you get moved to St. Luke's for better treatment.
Yeah, that's the next question I was going to ask you, Mike. Um, in your opinion, as far as treatment, as far as handling claims and facilities, what are the best hospitals in the Philippines? You can just give me two or three or four.
Well,
Just in your opinion.
there's two that rise to the top: St. Luke's in Manila and Changhua Doctors in Cebu.
What about Medical City? You had any experience with that?
It's fine. It's fine. I haven't had any real complaints. Medical City is fine. But for my brain surgery, I'm going to St. Luke's.
Oh wow, man. Man, best wishes, man, on a speedy recovery. I know that
No,
when
I'm not
John.
getting brain surgery. I was just saying it was
Oh,
hyperbole.
okay, yeah, okay. But I know, Dumaguete, that the hospitals in Dumaguete, I was kind of shocked when my friend John Moonshine Shoulders was having a heart attack. He said when he went to Ace Doctors Hospital, they had never done a stent procedure before. He was going to be the first one. And he said, that's okay. And I think that eventually led to his death. What do you have any background on that?
Well, I've had lots of stints done in Changhua and Cebu. That's where I'd
Yeah,
go. That's closer than Manila. You know.
yeah, that's what he tried to make it, and he eventually got the procedure, but by that time he was too weak, and it killed him. He died. He had the procedure, and he said he was feeling pain, so they went back in, and when they went back in, that's when he died. Because I was shocked. Because if you go to Dumaguete, you've been to Dumaguete, and you see Ace Doctor Hospital, they're building a medical city right now as we speak in Dumaguete. They've got a brand new regional hospital in Dumaguete, and then there's the other one,
Protect.
the hospice named after it's named after the college there, Silliman
Pro.
Doctors
Oh yeah, there's
Hospital too.
Settlement. There's also Protect. Protect, I hear, is good.
Yeah, I was just kind of shocked about that. I was like, in America they do those stents. They come a damn a dozen. They probably do. I'm gonna say probably 10,000 or more a day. But he said, man, I wasn't. He didn't want to be the guinea pig. And
Oh,
this is what John said. I'm not. I don't have any experience with that. But he said I talked to him on the phone, and that's what he said. So he said, I'm leaving, and we're going. He came all the way back here to San Carlos City. Then they caught the ferry to Toledo. Then they drove down to Cebu. He was weak, man. He wasn't gonna make it. But Confident Voice Speaks, thanks for that super chat. He says, I like the outside live stream, Monk. It twisted my ankle. I twisted my ankle on the job, and now I'm more motivated to head back to the Philippines. Yeah. Okay, so what is the average cost if for anybody out here who's trying to self-insure, Mike? What is the average cost of a hospital stay? Just one night in the hospital in the Philippines, on
Well,
average that you've seen.
have you had an accident? Were your legs amputated? What are we talking about here? What I'm saying is it's
Well,
all over the map. I mean, that guy that ended up with a 2 million peso bill had an aortic aneurysm. He was there for 3 days, and it was 2 million pesos. I've had guys
right.
with broken arms that are in and out for 20,000 pesos.
Yeah, so
So,
you're saying about 20,000 then.
well, for a redundant thing like food poisoning, you get food poisoning, you probably overnight on an IV to rehydrate.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I
but if
want to
you
know.
but if you get dengue, you could be in the hospital for a week or two, depending on how severe it is. I mean, dengue usually doesn't require hospitalization, but what I've learned recently is the first bout of dengue is usually mild. It's the second one that's serious. It was the
Yeah.
opposite of what I thought.
Now, what about the coverage that you're offering? Does it cover vaccines?
No, no, no. That's health maintenance. That's out of pocket stuff.
Yeah.
All I focus on is you're in the hospital and your bills getting up to 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. That's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Other than that, put it on your credit card.
Yeah, I know because I went to the doctor, man. I think I want to say it was 550 pesos here. It was less than $10 to
Yeah,
see a regular doctor. I've yet to see a specialist, but that's not going to cost too much more.
no.
Um,
Health maintenance is cheap here. Yeah,
yeah, but see, that's the thing. We don't use it. We we want a miracle, Mike. We want a lot of us guys, we don't go to the doctor. We go when it's a 911 emergency. Well, hell, it's too late. Okay. A lot of times, if you go to see your doctor, I worked in insurance, man, for years and years. I'm still a licensed agent. I still keep my license to get my renewals. We just won't go to the doctor, man. We just don't go. And going to your doctor on a regular basis, they can see some of this stuff. They can catch it early before it becomes a major problem.
yeah.
But
Like
what's the
prostate
best way
cancer.
to what's the best way to contact you? Is it the link that I put in there? Is it your because that's a
Yeah,
Facebook, that's the link to a Facebook group you gave
yeah.
me.
No, no. I have my personal Facebook link. Um, just put my name into Facebook. I'm the only Michael Onstad in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I also call myself a health insurance consultant. Dead giveaway.
Now, with your policy, because I know a lot of times if you don't have insurance, they want money up front when you go there.
Oh yeah. And
Now,
they'll
what
gouge you
about,
on the way out. That's another thing. If you don't have
yeah,
insurance, your fees are not pre-negotiated and you will get gouged.
wow, wow. See, that's scary. But, it's always the other guy. It's never going to be us, Mike. It's always the other guy.
Well,
They'll say that Mike Onstad's a good guy, but they won't say whether they've got a policy or anything. But I don't wish bad luck on anybody, but you're 8,000 miles away. Anything can go wrong, and it usually does. So I'm gonna put your Anybody got any more questions for Mike while he's on here? He's a very busy guy. Like I said, y'all take for granted when I have him on here, man. This is a big deal. This man's the top health insurance agent in the Philippines. You one of the top, if not the top, right, Mike?
I am the top now.
Yeah. See, but they take for granted when you on here. It's like, oh, it's just Mike Onstad, but they don't realize how busy he is. And this is where you get the answers. You don't get them from me. You don't get them from all these other vloggers. Because I see y'all watch the same videos y'all watch. And you be in the comments asking these guys that stuff. But when you have Mike right here in front of you, you won't ask him. I don't get it. But it's your life. He said, thanks for the super chat, Unfiltered Black Abroad. He said, what happens if you end up in the hospital and you can't pay for whatever reason? Mike?
What happens? Well,
Yeah.
of course, anything can happen, but anything from you make a mad dash in your underwear with an IV attached to your arm. That's possible. I don't think they'll
Yeah.
shoot. I've never heard of them shooting. The other one is the bill keeps increasing until somebody comes in with cash.
Yeah. There's no
Or I come
indigent
to the
care.
rescue and settle your bill with the insurance company.
Yeah, there's no indigent care for foreigners, I don't believe, here.
No.
It's not like in America where they come around while you're in the bed, they'll come around and ask you, do you have insurance? And if you don't, they'll start that process immediately. But that's not indigent care here for foreigners. The bill will just keep going up, because I've heard guys say, oh, no, they don't kidnap you anymore. Well, I'm just going to tell you my experience.
No, that's
They
not
would
true.
not let my son and my wife out of the hospital till I
No.
paid that bill. Period. End of story. So
There is a law out there that says they can't do it, but it precludes private accommodation. And that's exactly why they will not have anything but private accommodation when they see a foreigner walk in.
absolutely. But yeah, that's what happens. The bill, you can tell them you going down for a smoke and take off. Q, you can do that. Have somebody waiting at the with a pedicab down at the entrance, and But other than that, man, your ass is gonna be out. Hey,
Well,
Blizzard,
you
bro,
got
thanks for that super chat. He says, "Thank you, Michael, for your time today." He says.
thank you.
Anything else you want to leave us with, Mike, before you get off of here?
But don't fear sending me a message and getting information because I don't follow up. So don't worry about it. I'm not going to chase you. Just ask the question, I'll answer it, and that's it. It falls in your court.
Yeah, now that phone number and that contact information that I'm putting on my channel, that's good, right?
Yeah, stay away from the phone number though, because I get all sorts of spam calls. So I don't answer the phone initially. I'll send a message.
Okay.
Who is this? Sorry, I missed your call. It's best to message me on Facebook or WhatsApp using my number.
Okay, yeah, WhatsApp. Yeah,
And tell me who you are and what you
stuff.
want, and then I don't have to go through the vetting.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate your time, man. And the next time you have, thank you, Marilyn. The next time you have a meet and greet, let us know. I'll post it and put the word out.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to my buddy Dave. I keep him anonymous, but he just took out a policy with Mike. He just moved over here. I think y'all met at the meet and greet, didn't you, Mike?
You know, I'm getting a little slippery in the memory department.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he got a
But I
policy.
think I did, yeah. I think I did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you, man. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Yeah, guys, that's good information, man. I do this for my channel, man. I was gonna do this members only, but I'm gonna do my members only in the morning and then do my Patreon on Tuesday here. Now she's bringing this. I don't want that. I got this. Oh, you put this on her. Okay. Yeah, I like this outside thing, man. Especially today. I'm under this tree right here. It's shady. Somebody's even uh built a bench right here. I think I might start doing this if the weather permits. But we finally got some good weather. But now I'm gonna take y'all's questions for the next few minutes before all hell breaks loose. But you know, I think I've said all I'm gonna say for a while on these relationships, guys. Okay. I just want to be on record as giving you the 360. Whenever stuff like this happens and people get scammed and all that, at least you can say, well, Sunshine Shows, he talked about that. Because people are getting the wrong impression of my channel. I've created over 3,000 videos, man, and most of it's about living your best life over here. But I want to be on record as saying, hey, I did my part to try to steer y'all away from the drama and the bullshit, man. But it's an uphill battle, man. It's an uphill battle, and I just don't think I'm the one that should be carrying that message. People aren't gonna listen to me, but it's on record. It's in that. I even put these last 3 videos I made in a playlist, and it's called "Things Have Changed in the Philippines." Because one thing I said, I want to clarify this. When I said Filipinos prefer younger men, well, it doesn't matter what Filipinos prefer. Okay, if I'm a young man, I'm not gonna waste away my best years over here in the province somewhere. I'm gonna be moving around. My experience is a lot of the younger guys, they're not happy staying put here. They're jumping around and stuff. That's why it seems like a lot of the older guys are winning, because they say, okay, you can suck the life out of me because I don't have much life left. My best years are behind me. And they'll sign up on that deal all day long. But it's really, it's not about what she prefers, because a lot of times she's not in a position, you know, to make those kind of decisions. Okay. I just want to make that clear, because people are coming at me. Well, I thought you said this. I thought you said that. If they had their druthers, which they don't, okay, we deal with really, really, really poor women that, they don't really have any druthers. Okay. But I'm saying if they did, they would rather have a young retard man over here. Okay. That's all I was saying, guys. But if I'm a young man, I'm doing I'm doing Cambodia, I'm doing Vietnam, I'm doing Thailand, I'm doing Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. I'm gonna have it all. I'm not gonna sit here, because the women that we deal with, when you deal with women in the financial straits that we deal with, they suck the life out of you. That's all they can do. Okay, that's all they're good for. And they're gonna suck the best years of your life out of you. I've been telling y'all for years, the best thing about the Philippines is not the women. I'm gonna show you. I'm getting ready to go. I'm gonna do a little tour, because I gotta go to Dumaguete. Then I'm gonna go over to Siquijor, but I'm gonna go to a different. I'm gonna go to the nice place over there. I'm gonna treat myself to Cocoa Beach Resort, and then I think I'm gonna go on to Panglao, and then maybe a couple of other places. Just depends on how Maryland feels. But I'm gonna show you, man, that the best part of living over here, man, it's not a relationship. I'm sorry, guys, and this is where we get that wrong. You know, I'm waiting for this super sticker to get off of here. I don't know why it's just standing there. Usually he's gone by this time, so I can hit y'all's comments. But let me go down here, because I'm gonna say this. This is stuff I really like to keep for my members only in my Patreon. But I'm gonna give it to y'all since I'm on here today. Really, all of us are victims over here. I'm talking about when you deal in these relationships. There really are no winners for real over here. Okay, because the odds are stacked against you having a successful relationship over here. It's so much against you, man. And you know, hindsight is 2020, and more is revealed to me the longer I stay here, and the more that I just think about stuff. But um, but because you see so many men over here, it gives us the wrong impression. But the deal is, a lot of men are willing to face those odds for obvious reasons. That's why I say it's an uphill battle trying to save men from themselves. Okay, from uh, loneliness, chronic loneliness, desperation. You know, was it Mark Twain that said, you know, good luck trying to, it's easy to fool me to convince them that they're being fooled or something like that. Hey, Anthony Harris, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Sunshine Shows and Sunshine Shows community? Stay strong. And because sometimes, you know, I don't know where people's minds are. They take this stuff I say the wrong way. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm not saying don't come over here and you know, meet a woman and all that stuff. It's your life. You can do whatever you want to do. I just talk about stuff as it comes across my mind, stuff that I think is relevant, that could help us, the average Joe. You know, see, a lot of us, we come over here and we get ensnared in this trap. I'm telling you, it's a trap. You have children and get married over here, man. You toast. Even though you see, just because you see a lot of people doing it, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, guys. Come over here and have some fun. Travel the Philippines, man. You know, people complain about the Philippines, but they've only seen a tiny, tiny fraction of it. I can't do it all over again, but you can. You can go see all that stuff. And then once you burn out on that and you want to get into a relationship and settle down, that's why they call it settling down. You settled down over there. You were settled down and you said you wasn't happy. So you want to come over here and get settled down? You know, do all of that first. And then say, okay, I'll have a baby or I'll get married. Okay, because having children over here is different. It's not the same as I'm only going to talk about America. It's not the same, guys. Okay, they don't have the safety nets over here for children as they do in America. So, you know, you have to be here for your children. I see a lot of children, they suffer over here, man. Not for a lack of love or anything like that, but they just do. And it doesn't matter how much child support you give the woman, the child's just going to live better in the squatter area or the province. It's just something to think about. You know, Booby's giving me a new life. I never leave Booby. You know, that's the reason she was born, you know. But I never leave her. You know, I can't leave. I will not, uh, you know, put her life in the hands of somebody else. Not as long as I'm living. But yeah, this is it's almost ready, guys. I just want to read some of this stuff. But you know, when you talk about the odds being against us, and men will never see, we lie so much. I did a video on that, and they'll never let you know that they're unhappy because they don't want you to say, I told you so. You know, so they'll grin and bear it. But age is against us. And you can look all this stuff up, guys, you know, because that's what I do. Here's the things that are working against you when you come over here dealing with these younger women. Age, number one, religion, race, class, education, language, culture, poverty. Man, when you put all that stuff together, man, it forms a formidable opponent, man. And a lot of men, like I said, they're older. So they're like, okay, I'm going to hang around. I don't have much left anyway. I don't have anything to lose. But if you're a younger guy and you come over here and get stuck like that, Good luck, man. Good luck. Don't do it, man. Don't waste your best years in a relationship here. You see these young vloggers, man. They making my case for me. The young vloggers. Every vlog they make is happy because that's all they can do to prove to you that they didn't make a mistake, that they made the right decision. But if you 62 like I am, and most of my friends are older than me over here, you know that every day with human beings, man, you're gonna have some type of drama. Every day's not gonna be happy and all that and joyful. But anyway, I just said all I can on the subject. So my thing is, okay, here they are now. He said those cold ones are tough to let go. I'm drinking an ice cold Stella Artois as we speak. Not to rub it in, bro. And I was gonna do a video on Old Sally's, but I'm not gonna do it. I want you to come over here and see it. I mean, I do want y'all to know that I'm not just on here talking. There's a whole Facebook group of nothing but Old Sally's, man, because they've got the memo that we're desperate. He says, I'm going to go to the VA hospital. We're at home because they got a clinic here. I mean, really, man, Kaz will vouch for you if he's here, if he's on here. I was sending him some pictures yesterday, and I said, "No, I ain't gonna do that, man." Because some people, like on the web, on the Facebook group, it says we love older women, but these women are 62, 68, 75, man. They're looking for you. They really think they got a chance in finding love with a foreigner because they know how desperate we are over here, guys. He said, "Good luck finding a specialist in the Philippines." Well, they got them. You know, it's going to be the same as it is in America. It may take you a while to get in there. He said, "Oh, Sally, yeah." I mean, if you see this group, man, it will shock you. But hell, it's their right. They can. They're not done. But I mean, man, you will be shocked. That's the word I'm going to use, man. Okay, I'm telling you, a 75-year-old woman's on there, single widow, looking for a serious relationship. I'm like, a serious relationship? It's crazy. But I think, that's what I'm gonna do as far as relationships. I'm gonna just let you learn on your own, man. Date at your own risk. I'm not gonna be the one that, but I'm on record as telling you, be careful over here what you wish for, you know. Yeah, it's funny, right? Because guys couldn't believe it. I said, yeah, she's 65. One lady 68. And a lot of them, some of them are trying to dress sexy and stuff, you know. And I'm like, boy. But here's the thing about if you're gonna date an old Sally, because remember, a lot of times I'm the same age or a little younger than the women I'm dating over here's parents. Filipinos are very protective of their mothers. Okay. They don't want them, once they get a certain age, they don't want them fooling around with nobody. You just say something about, yeah, if your mother went to America, some man will be blowing their back out. Oh, they'll get mad. They're jealous. Okay. When their mother get a certain age, they do not want them fooling around. So that's one of the things against dating an older woman over here. I'm talking about a real older woman. I'm not talking about in a 40. What's up, Elect? I'm talking about 60s and up. They're not gonna want you because they know foreigners have a reputation, guys. We always get uh one side of the story. The Filipina and what she does to a foreigner. See, if you tell what foreigners do to Filipinos, they'll deport you. Okay, so that's why you don't see vloggers doing that. You don't see that. So I keep it respectful. I say, yeah, she bends over backwards, runs around in circles, jump through hoops, because, but they know. Okay, people over here aren't stupid, man. They're smarter than what we give them credit for. Okay, a woman that deals with a foreigner, they'll say she's liberated. That's where I heard the expression from, way back in 2010. My son's mother said, yeah, they look at me like I'm liberated now because I'm dealing with a foreigner. And I was like, well, what's liberated mean? Well, in the bedroom. And I said, oh, okay. Because we, man, look, guys, we ask them to do things they never even thought about. See, not grew up, but I've been in and around Filipino families for almost 17 years. They raise their kids with certain values, man. Okay, and traditions, honesty, respect, ethics, like that. And they carry those values into adulthood. But what happens when they start dealing with us, the ones that deal with us, they throw them out the window. They compromise their values, man. That's why when I tell y'all, I always say the ones we deal with, they're not the typical Filipino, because the typical Filipino won't give you the time of day. She's not going to compromise her values. Okay, I'm sorry, she's not. No matter how bad things get, she's not going to do it, because you would think to yourself, okay, there's millions of impoverished women over here, or just say poor women over here. Then why aren't they all with foreigners? Since it's so easy to get online and make a profile and have have a new life basically overnight. It's because they said we're not going to compromise our values. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to jump into bed with you the first night. I'm not going to deep throat you. You're not going to put it back there. And all the things that we put these women through, they said, no, okay, I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there in my own way. I'm not going to take that shortcut. Okay. I don't talk about this stuff, man, because I respect people over here, but I do know the real story. I know the real story. Why one woman's on the dating site and another woman's not. Because the one woman says, okay, I'm going to compromise my values. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I got kids. I got a family. I'm tired. It's just too tough for me. I'll deal with a foreigner. But then other women's like, I don't care how tough it gets. Okay, I'll go overseas. I'll be an OFW or whatever it is. I'm not compromising my values. I'm staying, put. Okay, I'm standing fast. Because we only get one side of that story. You better not get on here and talk about what foreigners do to Filipinos. You'll be lucky if they deport you. See, that's the nitty gritty. You will be lucky if they deport you. They'll kill you. That's the story that's not going to be told, guys. So we got to keep telling the story about the Filipino cheating the foreigner. Those are the ones cheating you who have compromised their values, because the typical Filipino won't steal from you like that. She's going to go to work. She's going to go to school. She's going to pull herself up by her own bootstraps. Okay, if she finds some money on the ground, she's going to take it to the barangay. You see them stories all the time. But the women we deal with are different, man, than the regular women over here. But y'all don't want to hear that story. So I'm not going to talk about it. Just come over here and find out your damn self. I'm going to tell it to you, because y'all really don't want to hear that. But I'm just telling you that that's the truth. You're not dealing, if you met your woman on a dating site, which 99% of us, 100% of us do, you're not dealing with the typical Filipino, because the typical Filipino doesn't want a foreigner. She cringes to think of being with a man 30, 40 years older than her. sleeping next to some old wrinkled, crinkled up man. He's breathing on us, breath smell like cigarettes and cheap beer. Okay, balls hanging to the ground, dragging the damn floor. They cringe when they think about stuff like that, guys. Y'all been getting the wrong information. Okay, there are women over here who want you. Okay, but there's a special group. Okay, but they're not the typical Filipino. I don't care who you with right now. Okay, and all you got to do is look around, myself included, man. Something happens, because the guy was like, well, why do you think Marilyn did it? Marilyn loves her kids so much that she'll do anything for her kids. She tried the OFW route. Okay, I'm just saying that there's something different. Something has happened to make her create a profile on that dating site, because the vast majority of Filipinos don't do it. So that's enough of that. Just know when you come over here, you're not getting the best and the brightest. Okay, we're getting women who are broken some kind of way. That's just my opinion, man. He said, "Wait, balls hanging on the floor." Well, come on now. I think you know what I'm talking about. When we get old, our balls sag. Man, man are about ready to, jump out of the damn parachute. They ain't all the way hanging yet. I don't know what's going on. Wait, what's this? Shoot. Oh, what the hell? Okay, here. What's going on? I can't. Okay, comments on. I can't. What's going on? Ah, wait. Something's going on with the damn comment section. It's so stupid ass. I can't come over here for a minute. I can't see the comments. What did I do? Hurry up, hon. Come here for a minute. But yeah, so date at your own risk. Um, you can be happy over here, man. But I would take the long way. I wouldn't take the shortcut. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I lost my comments section. I'm gonna see if Merlin can help me. It's not going up and down anymore. Wait. Let's see. There's a private chat. Let's see what this is. Okay, let's see. I don't know what happened. Look. Usually the comments are over here. See, but I can't see them. See, look, they're commenting, but if I hit that,
Did you press something? No.
I don't know what happened.
Aray ko na kung cellphone ma. Ayun si Tia.
Yeah, but anyway, okay, guys, I'm gonna keep going until I don't know. This is why I don't like to use my phone, and the only reason I'm on my phone today is because the shut up. Okay, let's see what this is. Display live comments directly on your screen. Please note that some platforms like Twitch
Walang tawa ko lang sa cellphone.
This is so stupid. I hate this. See? They're commenting, I just can't see them. They're supposed to be over here where I can scroll down.
Maybe you hit something.
Let's see. Nope. Yeah, I cut it off if I hit it there. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe this will do it. Let's see. Huh?
Let's proceed. Huh?
Did you talk to Sophia and see what's
he
going
was
on?
the only boy.
Yeah, why don't we take them somewhere then? Oh, this is so fucking stupid, guy. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what the hell happened here. Okay. What are you gonna do?
Oh, let me see.
I know, but I'm saying I can see it. It's
I
just
mean in your comments. There.
oh, you can see the comments. Yeah, that way, yeah, you can tell. I can read them off yours, right? Yeah, that's what I do. Give me a second, guys. I apologize. Okay. Thank you. See, Maryland, she's so smart. I would never have thought of this. Okay. He said, okay, ball's on the floor. Well, that's awkward. He says, unless I'm bowling. Let's see. I'm trying to go back to catch it when it started, guys. Okay. He said, you might as well try to. I love the John said, you might as well try to get a Western woman if you're trying to get a typical Filipina. It ain't happening.
You can. You can. The volume can lower.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me cut this down. Okay. Elette with the green face. I see you. He says, I'm just saying I'm not bringing my woman back to the States by no means necessary, Blizz. This is what Unfiltered Black Abroad said. He said H Bachelor Cool was talking trash. I blocked him. I'm shocked about that. Somebody sent me that, and I met H Bachelor Cool before. I had my meet and greet in Angeles City, and the day before the meet and greet, me and Sammy Davis, we were eating breakfast in the tea bags, and he was there. He just seemed like a cool guy. But the thing is, guys, it's two signs when a vlogger's running out of material and content. He'll start talking about other vloggers, or they'll start reacting to other videos. But he's gonna destroy his channel, man. He's trying to appease a group of trolls that you can never appease them. They're gonna turn on him. But yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, damn, dude, I thought you was on, you done went to the dark side. He's gonna regret that. But he didn't have that energy when he met me as Sammy Davis. Okay. But when you got people edging you on like that, it's just like Smiley said. He said, Calvin, these guys, why are they so comfortable talking about you and other vloggers like that? Like you can't reach out and touch them. I don't know. But he's crossing a line, man. It's like, you guys are pitiful, man. I was shocked, that he's turning into a troll. It's like, there's so much content over here, guys. Use your brain, because somebody's going to get in trouble eventually. But yeah, I saw that. And, It's pitiful. But I don't care. I don't care what they say about me. Like I said, he didn't show that same energy when he was right in my face. See, that was when his channel just started. You know, he recognized me. I didn't know who he was. You know, some old banana head guy. That's all it was. His head is shaped like a banana. That's just what it is. But I don't have a problem with him. They got a problem with me. They need me to get views. I don't need them. But Mr. Banana Head, he can keep my name out of his mouth. I don't have anything against him. But yeah, I saw that, Julius Caesar. It just kind of shocked me. He says, I agree, bro. My girl's not going to the States. Yeah. But, you know, the good thing about that, though, Confident Boy Speaks, is a lot of times they do what they say they're going to do. We get the horror stories. Remember, we're only getting those horror stories. That's another reason why the dating pool is shrinking, because some Filipinos are like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that treatment. They hear what's happening to the women. Y'all see in Texas where the guy killed the Filipino and put her body in the freezer. He showed his best friend. And then I guess after he showed his best friend, he probably knew I'm going to get caught. And so he ended up killing himself. But they read all the same stories that y'all read, but they probably get more horror stories than we do, because we don't get the horror stories of the foreigner mistreating the Filipino. But years ago, man, before the Philippines opened back up, me and Marilyn and Booby was a baby. I think Booby was 9 months old. So it shows you how long it was. We went to Sapalay, not Sapaway across here, Sapalay. It's on down in Negros Occidental. We were on Sugar Beach, beautiful place. And the resort we were in, they just kept coming around looking at me and Marilyn, smiling and laughing. And I was like, what's going on, Marilyn? And they said that I treat her really good. And it shocked them, because she said, usually the foreigners that bring their Filipino girlfriends there, they treat them real bad. Some of them don't even feed the women. There's Marilyn there. She'll co-sign what I'm saying. They were shocked at how good I was treating Marilyn, because the majority of people they see over there, they said they won't even feed them. And I was like, wow, they get those though. Okay. Juice says, I'm an aspiring, recovering sex pat who will seek atonement if I ever achieve my aspirations. Well, at least you're honest about it, man. We're all mongers, man. If there's one monger, we're all mongers. And people don't like you saying that, but they know it's true, man. They're not coming over here for scuba diver lessons, man. But I'm just telling you, when you do come over here, see, we don't give them enough credit. We think Filipinos are they're slow, innocent, you know, province girls, man. It's not true, guys. They will cut you in half, and a lot of times they usually do. These are the same women, the women you're reading about and hearing about that are scamming these men and running off with their savings and all that, are the same women you're meeting. They're the same women. And some of you guys, you think you got it good because it takes years. You're not going to know what you got into. It goes bad. You see, the guy was on Rocky Tufo. He's with his wife for 15 years. All of a sudden, everything fell apart. Now she's selling everything behind his back. She's trying to sell everything. She ain't giving him nothing, even though it's his money that bought all of that. She ain't giving him shit. You know, so keep on, you know, thinking that people don't know what they talking about and all that stuff. Just know what you're getting into when you come over here. That's all I'm saying. Imagine she went all those years being the faithful woman, and now that it's not working, she's trying to sell everything from up underneath him. Don't give a damn about him. He said, like the ones who like you. This is Willie. Why worry about the ones who don't? That's the secret to dating anyway. Yeah, but you have no idea dating isn't the same over here unless you're dating the typical Filipino, which we're not. Willie, we don't date the typical Filipino over here. Not if you meeting them on the dating site. They're not the typical Filipino. So it's not dating. See, this is where we fool ourselves. We think that dating over here is the same as it is everywhere. You're a damn liar. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, it's not true. There's an ulterior motive. There's a reason why women are on those dating sites, man. Okay, I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. He lets it. I already know. Yeah, you know when a man gets old, you know, the older you are, the lower they hang, you know. Let your nuts hang. He said it's popping the comments on your lower right-hand screen. Yeah, but I can't see it. Jeffrey, you can see that. I'm seeing something totally different. Swiss Gear 213 says, I was dealing with one here in Philly. Come to find out she was stripping online. Well, you know, I'm glad y'all coming forward with all these stories, because when you see a Filipina on a dating site, she's flipped. Something's happened. Okay, because the typical Filipina is not on that dating site. No matter how poor she is, no matter how much she struggles, how hard times is, she's not gonna do it. Okay, so you can believe me if you want. There's something different about the girls on the dating site. And now that I know, I can see it as clear as day. Okay, now what makes them flip? I don't know. Everybody has their own story. Okay, but a lot of times it has something to do with compromising their values. They're like, okay, they throw their morals and values that they were raised out the window. The typical Filipina is not going to give you a blowjob the first night you meet her. Okay, she's not going to literally let you blow out her back. She's not going to do it. You got to date her, man. You got to court her. You got to win her over. And it may be 2 or 3 men courting her. I've seen it with my own eyes. I live in a Filipino household. I see how the kids are raised. I'm not just on here talking. They're raised with certain values, man, and morals and values. And they carry those morals and values into adulthood. Okay? I'm here with the grandmother and the mother. I see it. You can't tell me nothing. Okay? With dignity, honesty, and all of that. Ethics, respect. They're raised with that. They're not different than anybody else. They got that thick culture, that rich culture. But something happens along the way when she ends up on the dating site. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why. Then why aren't all Filipinos on the dating sites then? Okay, answer that. Because that's the question. You know, when I get most of my content when I'm walking in the morning, it's sort of like my meditation. Because I got to think, what makes one woman go on the dating site and another woman not go on the dating site? That's what I was thinking one day. I was like, if everything is equal and they're both living in poverty and they both want a new life and they both are in financial straits, why does one go to the dating site and the other one doesn't? If, and we can all agree, we think that the woman's on the dating site because of financial need and everything like that, because of need, then why isn't this one going on there too? When she knows how easy it is. It's easy to go on that dating site and meet a man and have your life changed overnight, but they won't do it. The overwhelming majority, the vast majority, will never even think about it. You're nothing special over here. Okay? You're a means to an end to a select group of women. And that's why y'all don't want to hear, because you think, oh, I've hit the gold man. I thought so too. He said, stuff like this reminds me that Calvin's the same age as my dad. Well, I am. It says, thankfully, my balls are still relatively tight. I sit on the toilet without worrying about my testicles touching the water. Yeah, you're still young. You're still, what are you, in your late 40s or something? But you're pretty soon you'll see when you go to wash your balls and they dangling, they didn't used to dangle. You're thinking like, what the hell is this down here? What's slipping out of my damn jaws? It's your balls. He said, go get Booby. Booby's in that playing. She got a playmate today. He said, troops in contact over there in the Philippines need our help. What's up, Beach Alive? He said, Calvin, 2 phones, Roach. That's funny. He said, makes no sense to spend time talking trash. This is what Julia says. That tells me he's got nothing better to do. I was shocked. I just thought he was one of the good guys. I didn't think he was going to cross over like that, but it's just I don't get mad at him because I know it's a sure sign that vloggers are running out of content. They're running out of material. It's not like he had good material anyway, but he wasn't trolling people. Now he's trolling people. He called me shoe shine shoulders. I mean, come on, man. That's what my trolls call me. I was shocked. I'm like, damn, is this the real H Bachelor Cool? I couldn't believe it. Because when you meet him in person, he's not like that. But if you go in his comments, they're just edging him on, and people like that. They're like, okay, I can't get it from the real audience. Let me get it from these trolls. And they don't know when they make videos like that, they just open up the gates to all my other haters. Some guys on there said that my titles are clickbait now or something. I'm just saying, guys, I just want you to know I see the stuff, but it doesn't bother me. I'm out here living my best life. I promise you I am. But I was just shocked. I never thought he would cross that line, but he's crossed it. He's crossed it. Once you cross it, you can never come back. He said, Ace who, H Bachelor Cool, that up in Angeles City that makes all those funny videos and stuff. He's usually walking around Walking Street or Red Street. Well, now he's gotten to the point where he's talking about other vloggers. He's calling us fucktards and stuff like that. And people are getting a kick out of it. So, of course, it's going to make him keep going, until they turn on him. He doesn't realize that troll crowd is a shaky crowd. I wouldn't want them on my side. They can kiss my ass, all of them. He says, I guess it makes some guys feel less insecure if they troll. I don't really know. I just, like I said, I met him before. He just seems like a cool guy to me. And when I seen him get over to the dark side, I'm like, dude, do you really know what you're doing? Okay, when he's praising Fat Grandpa and all those other trolls, do you realize, man, that you're making a pact with the devil? You can never come back on this side. People aren't going to respect you after that. He said, if your woman is old or unattractive, then sure, bring her back. But if your woman is young and attractive, good luck. Well, yeah, they're going to be on her like white on rice. But that's all you got to worry about. You got to worry about some Tom, Dick, and Harry, the next pat, all up in her ear. But if you got a good woman, man, she's just going to be good. See, y'all don't understand the ulterior motive. See, with most Filipinos, it's not about a relationship, man. She could have a relationship over here with guys who are much younger than you, better looking, and have more in common. She's on a mission when she goes to your country. She's not thudding some man. She's trying to work and send money back to help her family. Okay? That's what she's trying to do. She's not trying. Now, when she goes to the grocery store and goes to work, me ain't going to be all up in her face. Yeah, that's what you got to worry about. Not the Filipina. She knows what she's got to do. She knows what her mission is. Okay? I'm sorry. They're not gonna run off, man. I don't care how good they look. There's so many. I was in a group of foreigners and Filipinos in America because by way of being married to a Filipino, that's all we hung with. None of them ran off. There was only one other couple that split up besides me and my wife, and hell, me and my wife was together for 10 years. We would probably still be together now, but she hadn't finished she hadn't completed her mission. When we came back here in 2018, I know her mother looked at her like, what in the world are you doing here? There ain't nothing here. There's no jobs here. He's what? He needs a break. You better get your ass back over there. But it wasn't, because they run off, man. It's just not going to happen. He said the name Sugar Beach brings bright white sand to mind. No, it's brown sugar. I've got videos. Remember, I was making videos. I was doing live streams when we was there. But it's about 4 years ago. It's a beautiful beach, but the sand is like brown sugar. It's not dirty. I mean, it's a beautiful. That's why they call it Sugar Beach, like brown sugar beach. I really enjoyed it. He says, I had to learn the language after growing up in the States. Speaking the Filipino language alone gives me a way larger dating pool than average foreigners. I would say it does, but I'd say it's an advantage, but I wouldn't say a larger pool, man. You got to understand that Greg, what's his name? Greg Masters, that foreigners have a reputation. First of all, a bad reputation. Okay. Filipinos have heard all the stories you have and more, and they just don't want a foreigner. They just don't want you. They don't find you attractive. This is why I say when guys like, well, I'm not going on the dating site, and I say, okay, well, good luck then. They just don't want you, man. Can you find one? Yeah, but that doesn't mean the rule is not correct. The rule is there, man. They're raised with certain morals and values and everything like that. And that's not going to compromise them for you because it doesn't matter if you can speak Tagalog or not, or Bisaya or not. You're a foreigner and they know what your reputation is and they know the things we ask Filipinos to do. Okay. Things that they never even thought of, Greg. Just be honest. It doesn't mean you're going to mistreat her. But they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. No, you can't put it there. Okay. And all of that stuff. You have to be around people to know. I've been in and around Filipino families for years. I'm living in a Filipino family. I see it up close. Okay? I'm just telling you. You don't got to believe me. It doesn't matter how good you can speak the language. You're a foreigner. She'd much rather be with Dome than you. Didn't y'all just hear me all the shit you got going against you over here? You dating over here. If I'm a young guy, I'm any guy really, and I'm thinking about, coming to the Philippines because I'm going to say it again, there's more to the Philippines than women. The best things about the Philippines are not the women, okay? If you're a foreigner. But here's the things that's going against you, Greg, and all you guys who think you got a one-up on us. Age. You think that really doesn't matter because they'll say you got some vlogger in their face with a microphone and they're going to say, oh, does age matter? What do you think they're going to say? Okay, but you don't think it matters. Language, okay? Even though you can speak the language, can you really speak it? It doesn't mean you got anything in common. What are you going to talk about? Religion. Race. See, because race matters. Even though we all know that we're all related and the color of your skin means nothing, we've been indoctrinated. We've been programmed to think that race means something. So it means something to you. Okay? Class. Education. And most times she's smarter than us. Hey, Swiss Gear, thanks for that super chat. He said, honestly, I learned a lot listening to you about the culture and how they are supposed to be. And I could just tell, like, nah, this isn't a good one. She's on the next sucker. Yeah, she's on to the next sucker. Thanks for that super chat, man. I appreciate it. But you're right. But you got to be over here for a long time, man. You can't be over here for 6 months. Okay? I probably knew a lot of this stuff before. I just never thought about it. A lot of times I get my content when I'm walking around Center Mall over here. And it just pops up into my head. Like, why isn't every Filipino who's struggling on those dating sites trying to meet a foreigner when they know how easy it is to get on there, make a profile, and basically be catapulted to a whole nother level of living, the best they've ever known because of their values. Okay, they don't care how tough it is. You know, imagine, okay, you see who the heroes are over here, the OFWs, right? These are people who said, we're not going to compromise our values. I'd rather go overseas. And they go over there and they make just tremendous sacrifices. They send all their money back here. It's 1/10 of the gross domestic product is their remittances over here. But I'm here to tell you now, the longer I'm here, and they're heroes, remember, OFWs are looked at as heroes over here. So why aren't the women who date foreigners looked out as heroes when we are giving just as much money to this economy as the OFW is? Okay? Then why aren't they looking at the women who date foreigners as heroes? They're not. And we give just as much money to this economy, if not more, than the OFW. Because we're tricking out a whole lot more. We're buying a whole lot more houses. You got to realize this, okay, just say 10 million, I believe 10 million OFWs or something. And just say they're sending home an average of, 15, 20, 25,000 pesos a month. Hell, we're spending that in a week. Some people are spending that in a day. But they don't look at your girlfriend as a hero. Okay? Culture, poverty, all of that is working against you. That's a formidable opponent. And you see people, and a lot of people who are over here, certainly the older guys, that's why it seems like we're winning. Because we say, okay, I'll sign on that contract right there. I'll sign up for that all day long because I really don't, my best years are behind me. I really don't have any more years left for her to suck out of me. So, we're Bill Withers. We all turn into Bill Withers. But young guys don't listen to Bill Withers on average. They don't listen to Bill Withers. But we do. We've all transformed into Bill Withers once you get a certain age over here and all of that. What's up, John Augustus? He said, Sunshine Shoulders. My brother, what's up? He says, you go there to know people, not learn things. Well, I don't know. Can't two things be true at the same time? Can't you learn things and know people? Aggressive AFK? He says, I think we're looked at as a dollar sign. Well, you know that's the truth, but you don't want to admit it. So, older guys can admit it. We don't care. It's like, okay, I'll make that trade all day long. Give me a young, attractive, beautiful woman for the last 10 years of my life. No matter the cost, because we're already saying that no matter the cost, we want it. Those two guys that came forward on Rafi Tufo yesterday, just those two fools with this woman that gave her 10 million pesos, that's like giving a woman in America $10 million. She shouldn't have to lift a finger again, but they're not good with money. Not the Filipinos we deal with. So they run through a 10 million pesos. She swindled 15 million. And you say, Carol, the exchange rate's only 58. I'm talking about the degree of difficulty. Do you know how hard it would be for the woman that you meet on the dating site to come up with 10 million pesos? The same as if the same difficulty as if you tried to go and come up with $10 million in America. That's lifetime money for her over here, but they run through it. That's why I say, if you have a daughter or son over here, you got to be here, man. You can send all the money you want over here. They're just going to live better in the province. They're going to live better in the squatter area. They're not going to take that money and move out of the place and all of that. Just those two guys gave her 10 million, and she still, it's not enough. I'm going out here. I'm going to swindle more people. But see, here's the thing right here. I wrote this down. Okay. It says, the odds are against us here. And many men are willing to face those odds for a bleeding pussy. For a bleeding pussy. You're willing to stake it all. That's all you want. Your expectations are so low. Yeah, you're going to be happy because you're going to get that. There's millions of bleeding pussies over here because that's all you want. So you're going to be over here. You're going to be happy like a Cheshire cat, grinning from ear to ear, bragging, boasting, walking around with your chest stuck out. Meanwhile, you're a victim and you don't even know it. It's easy to fool somebody. I think Mark Twain said that, than to convince them that they've been fooled. But so what? I don't care anymore. I just want to be on record as saying, hey, I know what's going on over here, and I've shared that with my viewers. But I'm not going to keep harping on that. I made 3,000 videos, man. Most of it's about living your best life over here. But I can't win anyway. It's damn if you do, damn if you don't as a vlogger. Oh, you're sugarcoating it. They said about me at first, I was sugarcoating it. Now they saying, oh, he's angry and I'm mean. Well, which one is it? I'm giving you the 360. Okay? Sometimes the truth will set you free. It'll give you something else to think about. You know, Love LaChan said degree of difficulty is something you need to think about when handing out money over there. It comes so much easier in the States. But see, people think they don't know what I'm talking about. I told you that. There's not another goddamn vlogger that's capable of coming up with that over here. If they did, they heard it from me. Because I meditate, man. The shit comes to me. It's not, I'm not talking about the exchange rate. I'm trying to get you to see the value of your money over here. It's a whole lot more than what you think it is. You got the damn exchange thing going in your head. Oh, 10,000, that's only $179. No, it's not. It's 10,000 pesos. It's not $179. That's how I try to help y'all. But it goes over your head because all you want to talk about is a bleeding pussy. That's all you want to talk about. Okay, you can have it. And when you get over here, you're going to be bored as hell. You're not going to know what to do. You're only going to see a small part of the Philippines. And you're going to say, oh, this Philippines is nothing over here. Yeah, because you haven't seen anything. She's going to have your ass in prison. You're not going to be able to go nowhere. Do all that first. Okay. He said another classic live stream. I'll be giving you the nitty gritty, man. Guys, I watch the same videos y'all watch. All that blah, blah, blah stuff. People mistake my passion for anger. I'm not angry. I got a good life over here. I'm living as good as I've ever lived because the lighters went on for me. It took a while. And I guess, you know, I'm just going to have to let it come on for y'all. You know, but don't mean we can't talk about it and have a conversation. That's all I'll be having is a conversation. I can't tell grown men what to do. I can't tell grown men what to do. You're going to do what you want to do anyway. That's why vloggers can't win. If you come over here and you screw up, you're going to claim that we didn't tell you that. Okay? If you come over here and you succeed, oh, see, I told you, you don't need vloggers. We can't win, guys. So you just got to talk about your life. I call it the nitty gritty, what I'm seeing, living, and experiencing. That's all. He says, sweaty pushy is okay too. He says, Zamboanga cool, y'all. It is. I lived there on and off for 10 years. It was cool for me, Sheldon. You know, it was cool for me. But most of the time, it's too many witnesses there for you to really worry about getting kidnapped or something like that. Now, Zamboanga does have a history. There was the siege in 2013. My son and my girlfriend at the time, who became my wife, they got stuck in Manila. They were in Manila going through the visa process, the I think it was the interview, and they couldn't come back for 1 month because the rebels, the bad guys, had come over and they fighting with the government troops, you know. But that was 2013. They haven't had anything like come near that ever since. And you can go there to this day and you still see the bullet holes in the buildings and all that where they came over. You know, but for the most part, the government keeps that off the front page. They do a damn good job, you know, of keeping you safe. But man, look, it doesn't matter if you okay, the majority 40% of all Muslims in the Philippines live in Zamboanga City. But at the end of the day, they're Filipinos, man. They're just as warm and welcoming as all the other Filipinos. They live side by side. The squatter area I was living in is right next to a squatter area of Muslims. And the guys who used to take me to the grocery store, to the mall, they were all Muslims. Okay. But now you don't want to go too far outside of the city proper. That's the problem. Okay. Remember Elliot Eastman. But even Elliot Eastman had been there so long, that's what lets me know the bad guys didn't really get him. He was there too long. Man, the bad guys ain't gonna wait that long. He was been there a few times where he was living. He had been there this time, I think, over a year when he had that trouble that he had. Man, if the bad guys know you there, they coming immediately. It's not like, okay, let's take a break. We're on lunch break. We'll leave the foreigners alone. No, they come and get your ass. There wasn't that. I believe it was a case of jealousy, which it was. I had a friend here who stayed in my guest house. He's a Muslim, but he lives in the Netherlands. He was born in Iran. He lives in the Netherlands right now. A good friend of mine right now. I'm talking about we're real good friends. Well, anyway, he told me, he said, Cal, I went down to General Santos and to date a young lady. And, come to find out she was only 16. He said, the family said, okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We give you our, it's okay. But he said, no, because they would never let me bring her back to the country. This is what he told me as a Muslim about Elliot Eastman. He said, Calvin, what happened is when you go into places like that, the men are jealous. They're saying, hey, these women are for us. They don't like outsiders coming in, dating and marrying their women. Okay, and then of course Elliot Eastman, he converted to Islam, but a lot of them thought it was only just so he could be with the woman. Like they were disrespecting, he was disrespecting their culture and their religion and everything. This is what he told me. I never had a problem in Zamboanga. I could go there now and I'm welcome. He says they're okay, but I'm guessing LaChina is forbidden there. Not really. Now what you will see in Zamboanga that I never see anywhere else, well, mostly in Mindanao, is if you go to a restaurant or something, they'll got signs up. They'll have like a pork menu and a non-pork. or they'll have a sign that says these this food was cooked or prepared with no pork ingredients. You'll see that everywhere. But it's disrespect. That's all. He said Elliot Eastman was moving too reckless, but he wasn't. The only reason you say that because you're looking at his videos now. When Elliot Eastman was alive, you didn't know he existed. He wasn't moving reckless. Nobody was watching his channel. Okay? Elliot Eastman tells you he wanted to be a famous blogger because he didn't want to go back home. But eventually he was going to have to go back home. He didn't have the money for real. He wanted his channel to be monetized so he could stay there and live. So he was saying that stuff like that. Oh, they're going to kidnap me and they're going to do all that. Okay. That would get him views and stuff like that. But he evidently he don't understand the algorithm. Okay. Look, man, let me tell y'all something. You better put some respect on Filipinos. They already know more about you than you know about them. Okay. If you're here a week, they're going to know so much about you, whether you're rich or not. Okay. Whether you're a good person or not. They just don't let you just come over here and invade their country and just, go about their business with a blind eye. They're not doing that. If you think they're doing that, they're not. They know what you're doing over here. They know where you moving. Okay, there's barangay officials over here. There's barangay officials over here. There's concerned citizens over here. He said, I heard Zamboanga is where they're hiding all the A and TNA. True or false? Hey, what's up, Den? That's Merlin's brother. He's going to do the artificial grass for us, I think, next week. But it's all in Mindanao. But yeah, Zamboanga for sure, because they call it Asians Latin City. One of the last strongholds of the Spanish. And you can go there and they got Paseo del Mar, and then they've got the cathedral that was built, I believe, the 1700s. It's still there. That they go to mass, and everything. They worship there. It's one of the last Spanish strongholds there was Zamboanga. But yeah, you're gonna see that. But you can go to Cagayan de Oro and see that. You can go to Davao, anywhere in Mindanao, but certainly, yeah, in Zamboanga. I tell people all the time, my wife was 36, 26, 36. I want you to imagine what that looks like on a 100-pound frame when I met her in 2010. Okay. If you're looking for beauty, man, you don't have to look far from here, but you got to look further. You got to look beyond that, man. You got to try to get to know people over here. Okay. And the more you know and the more you learn, the light will come on one day, and you'll stop fooling yourself. And you'll say, because the other day I was like, the good old days is over. Was there ever really good days? Is it better or worse, or is it just the way it is over here? I think it's just the way it is over here. Okay, and more can be revealed to you. When I was talking, these last couple of videos I've been doing, I probably knew this stuff all along, but it never came to the top of my mind until I started walking around. I got more stuff, but I'm done with it. I ain't gonna put it out. I may put it out on my Patreon and members only, but it does no good because you're not listening. Okay, you're willing to face the odds, and you don't care, man. I'm no match for the bleeding pussy. I'm sorry, I'm not. He says, I went to the museums in Cebu. They're all free. A lot of good women helping too, not gold diggers. Well, I'm not even going to say it anymore. Okay. The regular women don't want anything to do with you. They won't down. Can you break through there? You probably can. It's gonna take you a while. You're not gonna break through on 2 weeks vacation or a month's vacation. You're gonna have to live here. Okay, then you're gonna have to prove to her that you're not like the rest of them. Y'all heard me talk about this before, right? When we get over here, you're like the rest of them. They put us all in the same basket. And it takes time, man, years. They don't care that you were the police chief over there. Are you different from the rest of the foreigners, these ornery ass foreigners that come over here and mistreat our women, or who have mistreated our women? See, y'all don't know the history because you don't get that history. You only get the history with where the Filipino ran off with somebody's money. What about the foreigners running off, having kids with women running off, mistreating Filipinos, killing them? Okay, and all kinds of just horrible stuff that you never see a vlogger ever talk about. Out of respect, Filipino vloggers certainly aren't gonna tell you they sold their sisters down the river. They should be the ones talking about that. They're never gonna talk about it. Okay, they've compromised their values. They're no different than the women on the dating site because most of the vloggers are on the dating site. So they've compromised their values, and I typed it in to Google. I said, if a person would compromise their values, what else would they compromise? Everything. Everything. Okay. And this is who we're dealing with. It's only a matter of time. It's going to show. If me and Marilyn broke up today, I wouldn't get a damn peso. Okay. So you better stay on the good side. Okay. It may take you years. You see the man on Robbie Tufo. It's okay. One property alone is over $1 million, not pesos. She's trying to get 55 or 60 million pesos for it. Okay. And ain't gonna give him not a damn peso out of it. So he go to Robbie Tufo. Put some respect on Robbie Tufo, man. You don't understand what this guy's doing. But he's in conjunction with the barangay officials. See, we got help over here. There's people on our side who will help you if we only knew the system. We don't bother to try to learn the system over here. You're just over here for the bleeding pussy. That's all you want. You don't realize that if somebody, if you bought a property and somebody's trying to cheat you out of it, there's avenues you can go through where they can, resolve it for you, mediate it for you, and be like, okay, now you sell this house. If he spent $1 million for it, give him 500,000, and they're gonna buy back. But what we do, we just run off. We just run off. We don't understand. But people like Robbie Tufo, he's really like the tip of the spear. But man, does he help so many people, man? Imagine that you got somebody you can go to over here. Let's say a woman cheated me out of 3.8 million, and he's willing to go to bed. He's calling the barangay official and say, look, we're gonna have a meeting with this woman. We're gonna get some of this money back. And that's what they do. Even if you gotta sell every damn thing, she gonna have to sell, they're gonna get something back. Okay? But we don't even take time to try to find out what's going on over here in the Philippines. You just come over here, man, to blow out some woman's back. Man, your expectations are too low. No wonder you ain't happy over here. That's all you want. Now you don't want to be put in the same bucket. Q says, man, I'm okay with them putting me in the same bucket because you don't know what's in that bucket. Other ornery cocksuckers that come over here, some of the most ornery. How many I ever told you? There's a man, the people who come over here in Southeast Asia, man, trust me, okay, they're off the chain. Okay, some weird mofos that come over here. I'm calling it as I see it. You don't want to be in that basket. Okay. Young Fresh Global Travel. He says, it's my first time here. My mind is blown. I love that I can take the train and it brings you right to the malls. Wi-Fi is off the chain. My Airbnb has 700 MPS. I don't even get that in New York City. Yeah, see, a lot of people, especially young guys, he's giving himself up. He said young, fresh global travel. They don't see the Philippines for real. They don't know that all that exists over here because they're chasing some woman around. They're wasting away their best lives like Q in the damn province. He doesn't realize what's over here. There's places over here that you can't afford. Okay, I've seen it for my own eyes. Wherever you go, there you are. You know, a lot of the younger guys, they want the modern stuff. They want the same thing that they left. I don't want that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Let's see. Well, what do you mean it's not going to be popular? He said it's not going to be popular, but the women here in Thailand are just as pretty and nice than in the Philippines. It's all subjective, young global travel. We welcome your opinion because we want to know all our options. But you don't have to compare the Philippines and Thailand. That's like comparing apples to oranges. There's no comparison. I mean, you know, we've gotten on this channel anyway, in these live streams, we're far beyond that, man. We say be happy wherever you are on here. It's not, I'm never gonna waste my breath arguing about whether Vietnam is better than Thailand or Malaysia is better than the Philippines. You're wasting precious time. Just be happy wherever you are. I'm gonna be happy wherever I am, okay? Because I'm gonna take the ball of clay they gave me and I'm gonna create the life that I want to live. I'm not gonna leave it up to somebody else. He said, Raymond Walker said, no, you don't want to be put in the same bucket. Trust me. He's young, man. He don't know what he's talking about. Okay. He said it's pedophiles in that bucket too. It's all and they think we're all the same when we get over here. You got to prove to them, I'm not like them. And it's gonna take you a while, but not with the women you meet on the dating site, because they're cut from a different cloth. They're not the typical Filipinas, man. Can they go back to being the typical Filipino? I guess. I don't know, but I know when they're on their dating site, they're not, because they throw everything out the window that they were brought up. All their morals, all their values, and all of that. Why do you think they're doing all the stuff? They're not meeting these women on the street. These aren't the typical Filipinos that's running out with 10 million pesos of yours. They're not going to do it because they believe God is watching. They're conservative. They're religious. They have values, man. But y'all don't believe. Y'all act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. There's a reason why the woman sucks your dick the first night you get in the damn Airbnb. That's not the typical behavior of Filipino women. Y'all don't know nothing about Filipino women. And when somebody tries to tell you just a little bit that I know about them, you look at me like I'm crazy. You come over here and deal with one of the typical Filipinos. She ain't even gonna look at you. If it is just to be nice, and that's what messes us up. A lot of guys, they smile, they're so nice that you think they like you. Man, they don't like you. Look, I've got a friend over here. His name is Anthony. I'll leave it at that. Keep his anonymity. He's half Australian and half Filipino. His mother's Filipino, his father's Australian. This guy could be in the movies over here if he wanted to. Okay. He's about 30 or 31 years old. We're on the plaza one day. We're just talking because we work out together at the gym. And he said, you know, sometimes when people was walking by and I would speak to them, they wouldn't speak back. I was like, what's wrong with them? And he said something to me that at the time, it didn't mean anything to me. He said that he asked a priest that one time. He says, why don't Filipinos speak to me sometimes? He said the priest told him because Filipinos think they're better than you. And it didn't mean anything to me when he first told me that. But if it keeps rolling around in my head, I know what he means now. That's why the women wouldn't give you the time of day. They're looking at you, they're cringing, thinking about being with you, knowing what you are about. Because you don't know them, they know you. Because we put all our business on internet and social media and everything. Knowing you're gonna want to put it there. And she's gonna be like, no, you can't put it there. Okay. And I'm not gonna suck anything but a lollipop. And I'm not meeting you at your Airbnb. You come over here and meet my family. You introduce yourself to my father. You prove to them that you're a good man. You're going to take care of me, because if you don't, you're going to get a bolo across your back. But the women you meet on the dating site, you don't get any of that, because they've compromised their values. They've thrown them all out the window. It goes for any woman that's watching this. You know I'm telling the truth. That's not how you were raised. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Sperling? He said, there's a lot of sex pets here. That's for sure. Thomas knows he lives. Matter of fact, Thomas, I'm coming to our gal. I don't know when, but I'm coming. I was watching a lady, because I went there in 2010 before, and I haven't been back. And I like our gal. And when I get there, man, maybe you can send me an email. That way we can exchange WhatsApp numbers and stuff like that. But he knows he lives here. But they think we're all sex pets until you prove otherwise. We're getting the wrong impression of the people over here just based on the small percentage of women that we're dealing with over here. So you think that's all Filipinas. No, that's a very small fraction of Filipinas. Okay, and people been over here 6 months, they've been over here a year, 2 years. They're telling you they don't even know themselves, man. They ain't trying to know. Okay, I don't know everything. I'm just telling you what I do know. Okay, because guys always get on. Oh, he thinks he knows everything. I don't think I know everything, but I know what I know. I know what I know. I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Okay, but I've been living in and around Filipino families for almost 17 years. I live in a Filipino family now. I see how they raise their kids, their children. I see how they act amongst each other. I see the loyalty. I see the trust. I see the honor and the respect that they give their grandmother and their uncles and all that. I see it. He said, what's up, Cal? Family call alive. Thank you for standing strong. Much love, brother. Hey, Clyde, I appreciate you, man. He says, I was born in Thailand. He said, Thai culture and people are more similar to Chinese characteristic in Thailand. He says, being here, boots on the ground, I learned that fast. It takes a special person to want to live full time in the province. I could not do it. For a young man to do that, don't waste the best years of your life anywhere. It doesn't, not just the Philippines, but anywhere. Don't waste the best years of your life anywhere, man. I've been chatting back and forth with a young guy, Will, from Savannah, Georgia. And he said something. He was 24 years old. And he said, Cal, when I went over to the Philippines, I felt freedom for the first time in a long time. See, that's what you want to feel. But once you start getting in these relationships, having kids, getting married, oh, that's out the window. Elizabeth Brown said, peace, fellas. I got to get ready for this stream. Hey, guys, go over and give Blizzard some support, man, because I got about what I got. I got about 7 more minutes on my live stream. Y'all give Blizzard abroad. We can continue the conversation over there. He said, Burmese women are fire. There's beautiful women everywhere. But we have to stop making our lives about other people. Okay, yeah, they fall. Okay. That don't mean go over there and get trapped. What do you know about Burma? We know so much about Filipino women, but know very little. We know so much about a very small segment of Filipino women, which would mean Filipino people, And that's all we know. We don't know nothing else. Guys, get over here. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. They don't even know. They don't even have Grab downloaded in their phone. They don't have a SIM card with a Filipino number. They don't know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. They don't know where to get Western food if they wanted it. But they know that the woman's gonna be meeting them at the airport. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. But when you focus all on a woman, you're gonna have trouble, man, because you don't know who you're dealing with. At least get to know the women first before we go all in. We come over here, we're all in already, not realizing that you're not even with the typical woman over here. You're with a woman who has an ulterior motive. She's different from the rest of them. Okay. You seem to think that your woman's different, they say. No, she's not. She's no different than the woman that's running off with that 10 million, because at some point they're going to do something, because if they compromise their values, they're going to compromise everything. Okay. Nothing's off the table now. Okay. I'm just letting you know that. So no, the women that we're dating right now off their dating site, no different than that woman. He said plenty of earthquakes now in the whole of the Philippines. Know which quadrant you will go if one strikes. That's good information. You know, but when you make videos like that, RLV, people don't listen. They don't click on them. They don't want to know about the weather. They don't want to know about the natural catastrophes over here, the natural disasters. They don't know what to do if an earthquake strikes. They don't know where they're going. They know none of that. They're just over here for a bleeding pussy. That's all it is. And I feel sorry for men, because times have changed, man. You know, it's too much information out there now. You know, we gotten to the point where it's so much beauty out here that all we want to do is compare Filipino women to Thai women, man. We beyond that, guys. We got to get beyond that. It's more to life than that. You know, because eventually you're going to end up in the same. If you don't change, nothing changes, nothing changes. All the mistakes you made over there, you're just going to end up making them over here. What's stopping you? Actually, it's going to be easier to step in a pile of shit over here than it is at home. It's going to be easier for you to repeat that same bullshit behavior that you were doing at home. It's going to be easier to do it over here. You got to change, man. You know, I'm preaching, man, because there's too many guys losing their way over here. And nobody else is talking to you like this. You know, but as far as dating and stuff, I'm not going to make videos like that anymore. I'm going to go back to my living your best life videos. If you click on them, you can. I don't, you know. But it's enough information out there already. Just know that I'm on the record. It's trying to help. It's putting forth some videos that's trying to open some eyes, trying to shed some light that, you know, it's more than the relationship. She's more than meets the eye. Okay. World says, I started watching all English news, weather, and informational programs here. He said, you're going to find out what the girl's about. Just give her some time to show you. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, it just makes so much sense because it's true. Okay. Why aren't all Filipinos over here who are poor and who are struggling, who want a new life and everything like that? Why aren't they on that dating site? Why aren't they dating foreigners? Have it ever crossed your mind? Because we always say the Filipinos are on the dating site for need. That's what drives them. Need is what makes a 25-year-old woman date a 70-year-old man. So why isn't all 25-year-old women on that dating site then with 70-year-old foreign men? Because they're not all the same. We seem to think they're all the same. And just because you can speak the language, it doesn't mean anything. The majority of these women, man, they're not gonna fool with you, man, because they're not gonna throw their values. Fooling with you means they're gonna have to compromise their values, and they're not gonna do it. They know what to expect from Dawn. They don't know what to expect from you. People, you got to give people over here more credit than what we give them. We think we're the smartest people in the world. We're not. We're some of the dumbest, for real. Okay? But thank y'all so much for your super chat, your super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm going to always talk like this, man, because I care about people. That's just who I am. Don't mistake my passion for anger, man. You know, I just want y'all to look a little deeper into the situation and the circumstances before you step in a pile of shit, because that's all you worry about is women. You know, and I can see it, you know, with these young vloggers, and you know, everybody wants to show, look at me, look at the woman I got. And you don't even know what you got. Come over here and enjoy some of this freedom, man. Real freedom. Police aren't following me around. People aren't locking their doors when I approach their car. They don't cross the street when they see me and clutch their purse and all that other stuff. I'm not the number one suspect over here. See, that's freedom for me. I'm not chasing some bloody pussy, man. Take care. A bleeding pussy, rather. You have a lot to talk about with your girlfriend tonight. I'm giving you something to look at. Okay? Because not all these women are the same, guys. If you met your woman on a dating site, it's only a matter of time she's going to blow up on you because she's compromised her values. She's not the typical Filipina.